Hello, everyone. It's still spinning. There we go. Now I'm here. All right. Amazing. Let's see where I am so I can see comments come in. There she is. All right. Oops. All right. Hello, my friends. Hello, hello. Welcome back to It's Tea Time Live with Gidget. I'm so glad that you're here. Go ahead and grab your favorite cup of tea or coffee, whatever it is that makes you happy, and let's chat here for just a few moments today. And if you're watching live, make sure that you say hello to me in the comments. Let me know that you're here. If you're watching the replay, let me know in the comments that you're here watching the replay, because today we're talking about something that I hear all the time. So let me know if you are here. Drop me a hi, hello, heart. Let me know where you are chiming in from. Even if you're catching the replay, let me know that you're here. Let me know where you are watching from. Today, we are talking about something that I hear all the time, and I have a feeling that some of you watching are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. I hear women saying all the time, because I ask them, right? I ask them, what do you feel is keeping your weight stuck? And almost always they say, I can't exercise. I'm in too much pain. I'm exhausted. And every time I try to become more active, I end up feeling worse. Does that sound familiar? Let me know in the comments if that sounds like you. So I want you to know right from the beginning that I hear you. Let's be honest. When you're trying to lose weight, what is one of the first things that you're told? Hi, Carrie. Yep. Thank you for being here. Sorry, my comments are over here on the phone. I don't know why, for whatever reason, when I'm using my computer to go live, the comment section remains blank and I never see when people are commenting. So if you see me looking over here, it's because I see a comment pop up, and I always like to try to address everyone that's live. If I miss you, I apologize, but after the video, if I don't address your answers or acknowledge that you're here, I will once this video is over and posted. Even if you are here watching the replay, yeah, watch what you eat and move more. Yeah, yeah. So when you're trying to lose weight, one of the first things that you're told, right, is you need to exercise. And if you have fibromyalgia, you might hear you just need to move more. Start walking, get your steps in, right? Go to the gym. And maybe you're sitting there thinking, are you kidding me? Right? You're thinking, what the hell? Because guess what? You're already exhausted just getting through your day, right? Maybe even getting dressed takes your energy. I know for me, when I was going through the thick of my symptoms before I went on my healing journey, it took everything out of me to get a shower and to get ready. And my arms felt heavy. They ached. I could barely hold them up to fix my hair, blow dry my hair, put my makeup on. I would just, my energy, I was so exhausted and hurting so much that even in the middle of getting ready, I would have to sit on the side of the bed. And most days, like I would get physically nauseous just trying to get ready, right? Maybe just getting through your workday takes all of your energy. Maybe making dinner takes your energy. right? Maybe you have days where just getting through the grocery store feels like an accomplishment. And then somebody tells you you need to exercise more if you want to lose weight, right? Listen, here's the thing. I understand why you want to throw your hands up and say, well, I guess this is where I'm going to stay stuck, right? This is just the way it is. I also feel embarrassed as I would struggle in the gym, so I stopped. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I get it. I totally get it. But not being able to do all of this that we're being told to do makes us feel stuck, right? It makes us think, well, I guess this is just the way my life is now, right? Let me ask you something. How does your fatigue and pain affect your ability to exercise? Is it A, I'm too exhausted, B, I'm in too much pain, C, I try, but it causes a flare, D, I don't know what kind of movement my body can handle, or maybe it's E, all of the above. I want you to put your letter in the comments below because I really want to know. Let me know which one applies to you. And I also want to tell you something. I understand this because I have been that woman who felt like her body was working against her. I know what it feels like to be frustrated with your weight and frustrated with your body. All of the above, absolutely. Carrie, I was right there with you. I know what it feels like, right? And frustrated because you're doing what you're being told to do, right? But you're not getting the results that you're hoping for. And then you start thinking, maybe I'm just not disciplined enough. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm lazy. Maybe everyone else can do this except for me. And I want to stop right there because I don't want you believing that about yourself. Here's what I want you to consider. What if you don't have to start with exercise? Now, I'm not saying movement isn't important. It absolutely can be an important part of taking care of your body. We need that for longevity and mobility. But what I'm saying, it doesn't have to be the first thing that we focus on. That's a very different conversation, right? Because if you are already exhausted and in pain, why would I start by giving you another thing that feels impossible? That's not coaching. That's setting you up to feel like you have failed again. Carrie says, yes. Chris says, I struggle because I know what I need to do, but then I'm like, nah, right? Knowing what we need to do also is not motivation enough to get us to do the things that we actually need to do. But for most of us with fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue, right, what we need to be doing is totally opposite from what we are being told, right? So, what do we work on instead? What do we do? We start with what you can work on. And that's one of the things that I love about the way that I coach. We look at your food, we look at your habits, we look at your behaviors, we look at your beliefs, your mindset, and most importantly, we start learning about your individual body. Because I don't want to hand you a generic plan and say, here, do this. I want to understand what is happening with you as an individual. We are all different people. And let's talk about food for a minute, because so many women come to me thinking, well, if I can't exercise, then I can't lose weight. And that's simply not where I want you to start. Instead, we can start asking, what are you eating? How are you feeling after you eat? Are you staying satisfied? What seems to support your energy, right? What might not be working so well for you? Where are the habits that are making things harder? And notice, I want you to notice, I'm not telling you eat this exact meal plan. I'm teaching you how to understand your body, right? Because I want you to imagine if you could start making progress without waiting for your pain and fatigue to magically disappear first, right? I want you to imagine waking up and thinking, okay, I know what I'm doing today, instead of what diet am I supposed to try now? Or how am I supposed to eat today? I want you to imagine feeling more confident around food. I want you to imagine not constantly starting over. I want you to imagine having a little more energy each day, right? Carrie says, I just had fish, rice, and sweet corn. I would pay attention to how you feel after that. All right? Pay attention to how you feel. Thank you for sharing that. I want you to imagine getting to the point where movement doesn't feel like something you're being punished with, but something that you actually want to do because now your body is beginning to feel more capable. That's the direction that I want to help you move towards. And I want to make something really clear. I am not anti exercise. I'm not anti movement. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't move your body. But what I am saying is, I don't want you forcing yourself through pain because somebody told you that that is what you have to do to lose weight. I don't want you thinking, well, if I can't work out 5 days a week, there's no point. That's an all or nothing mindset, right? And that mindset can keep you stuck. So instead, we start where you are, not where you think you should be, where you actually are. Because maybe right now, your version of movement is walking around the house, right? Maybe that's all you can do right now. Maybe it's getting outside for 5 minutes. Maybe it's doing a little stretching. I don't know. Maybe it's doing something, super gentle. Maybe some days it's more, some days it's less, and that's okay. Your body is not the same every single day, right? Right? Especially when you're dealing with fibromyalgia and fatigue. Your body is not the same every day. So instead of constantly beating yourself up because you're not doing what you think you should be doing, what if you started asking, what can I do today that supports my body instead of fighting it? That's a completely different mindset. And this is what I really want you to think about because I don't think you just want to lose weight. I think you want to get your life back, right? You want enough energy to do the things with your family. You want to be able to make plans without wondering if your body is going to cooperate that day or not, right? You want to get dressed and feel comfortable in your clothes, right? You want to walk without feeling like your entire body hurts. You want to be able to do something spontaneous every once in a while. You want to stop saying, I can't, and you want to start saying, let's go. That's what we're really talking about here. It's not just about the weight. So let me ask you this. If you had more energy and felt better physically, what is the first thing that you would want to do that you're not doing right now? Would you go somewhere? Where would you go? Would you want to play with your grandchildren without getting exhausted and having to rest for the next day or two? Would you want to travel? Where would you go? Maybe you want to walk more. Maybe you want to take your dog for a walk without coming back home in pain or exhausted and have to lay on the couch for the rest of the day. Maybe you want to go out with your friends. Maybe you like to work in your garden. Maybe you used to work in the garden, all the time, and now you really can't. What about going shopping, right? Or what about cleaning your house without needing the rest of the day to recover? Or maybe it's something really simple, like just waking up and not feeling exhausted already. I want you to tell me in the comments, what would be the first thing that you would want to do if you had more energy and less pain? Whether you're catching the replay or you're here live, I want to know. Walk and enjoy more time outside, gardening, and yard work. Yeah. Because I want you to think about what you're actually working towards here. It's not just about weight loss. And that is why I created my 90 Days to Thrive method, because I don't want to give you another diet. I don't want to give you another exercise plan that you can't physically maintain. I want to help you learn how to work with your body. We look at food, we look at habits, behaviors, we look at the beliefs that may be keeping you stuck. We work on your mindset. And we create we create sustainable changes that fit your actual life, not somebody else's life, yours. And progress doesn't always look like, oh, I lost 10 pounds this month. Sometimes progress looks like, I have more energy, right? I'm not thinking about food all day for a change. I'm not starting over every Monday. Progress might look like I'm making better choices without feeling deprived. Progress might look like I actually believe I can do this. I'm moving more because I want to. I'm doing things with my family again. Those things matter, right? Because we're not just trying to change your weight. We are trying to change your quality of life. And it is possible. So if you're sitting there thinking, well, I can't exercise, so I'm stuck, I want you to hear me. You're not stuck. You may simply need to start somewhere different. You don't have to wait until you're at your goal weight. You don't have to wait until your pain just magically disappears. You don't have to wait until you have tons of energy, and you don't have to become a gym rat. You start where you are, and let's figure out what your body needs from where you are right now. Because I'm going to tell you right now, when you follow my methodology, when you follow my plan, and you learn what foods work best for your body and what foods are working against it, not only do you lose weight, your energy starts to come back. Your pain starts to decrease. Why? Because your body is finally getting the nutrients that it has been screaming for. And we will possibly also figure out what foods are depleting you of your energy and are increasing your inflammation, right? Because even foods that are deemed healthy does not mean that it's healthy for everyone. There are healthy labeled foods that actually cause increased inflammation. And when you have increased inflammation, your body is not going to absorb nutrients in the proper fashion. So therefore, you don't have the proper nutrients, so therefore you don't have energy. And the increased inflammation is causing you more pain, right? And when you work with me, you actually get to eat. You don't have to deprive yourself. You don't have to count calories, macros, micros, weigh this and weigh that. You simply learn what foods work best for your body as an individual, and you eat when you are hungry and until you are satisfied. So, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, Gidget, this sounds like me, I just want you to know I would love to talk with you. You don't have to know exactly what you need or exactly where you need to start. That's what our conversation is for. I'm going to help you learn what that could look like for you. So if you would like to talk with me and see um, how this could look for you, I want you to click the link in the comments below. I'm going to paste that link below, and I want you to schedule your free weight loss clarity call with me. We are going to talk about where you are right now, what you've already tried, what's keeping you stuck, and what you want your life to look like, right? And then we're going to discuss what working together could look like for you. There's no pressure, it's just going to be a conversation. And listen, I want you to remember this. You don't have to earn the right to lose weight by exercising. You don't have to punish your body into changing. And you don't have to wait until you feel better to start taking care of yourself. We are going to start where you are, right? We're going to work with what your body can do, learn what works for you as an individual, and take the next step. Because I don't just want you to lose weight. I want you to get your energy back. I want you to feel better. And I want you to get back to the life that you enjoy. All right. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for being here, whether you're here live or catching the replay. Until our next tea time, be kind to yourself, stop fighting your body, and start understanding it. I'll see you next time.